Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how we got our name, Complete Street Performance, and that's because we started with street tuning. And today I'm going to street tune the CTS-V Wagon, the Wagon. So first off, street tuning isn't for everybody, at least like not by yourself, especially if you suck at driving. That's like a very important thing. And as a disclaimer, I want to say that I don't necessarily condone doing some of the stuff that you may see in this video, at least in America, so that's why we're heading to Mexico. Got the whole family packed up, you know, in here. I actually got 3 car seats in this time. Look at that, we got the whole family. They're crazy, you know, including the wife, the craziest one of them all.
Right.
And we are gonna go straight tuned in Mexico. Well, maybe not all of us. I might drop them off. That's where we're headed. So what I've done here is you'll see that there is a line, a wire coming from the bottom of the car in. That is the wideband. I have an AEM wideband. This is one of those things that we sell on our website. Makes tuning very easy, especially on Gen 4 and Gen 5 stuff. It is what I use as a portable wideband, and it is hooked up to the car, and it feeds right into HP tuners. So this guy right here, this is how it feeds right into HP tuners. Goes in between. Check that out. Do you see how that works? Okay, so you take this guy, you plug it right into your OBD2 port in line, and you'll know if it works or not, because when you plug this in, it should light up. I'm going to disconnect it from the computer real quick. Now mine's set up more as a portable thing, so I could do this, you know, with other cars. And this plugs in right there. Do we have power? It looks like we have power. So we are in business. So what you're going to see here is now I have this hooked up through my cigarette lighter ingeniously, and I have my wideband, and now I have my my gauges here, and I have something in here that should have that wideband EQ ratio that feeds in directly over CAN. And that should populate now that the plug is in line. Oh. And is it gonna populate? No, why not? What the hell? What are you laughing at? Now what you're seeing, now that I've gotten it fixed, is a wideband EQ ratio has populated. We like to put that next to the equivalence ratio commanded. That way they line up. Now that we have this fun stuff going on, we are able to log. When I go full throttle or so, these two should match up. I did some stuff before with a just a guess based on the narrow bands, and I'm hoping that it lines up well. So we did a low RPM pull just to get up to the speed limit together as a family, because a family that accelerates together, and it looked like what I did based off of the narrow bands on that previous video, like it actually lined up just about perfect. So we're gonna drop the family off and actually make some real pulls now and see what happens. So initial pull with my guess looks like it's 3% off to where we took it to. That's pretty good. Okay, we've dropped off the family, and now it is time to do shenanigans in Mexico. It's gonna be a long ride, so I'm just gonna skip ahead to the good stuff. So if you are street tuning, it's important that you do stupid shit in the smartest ways. That's my suggestion, at least. Like, don't try to do it in like massive traffic or when weather conditions are just not perfect. Like, don't risk your life for those things. Yeah, if you're gonna do stupid shit, at least try to do it the smartest way possible. And I recommend that if you are doing stupid shit, that you make sure that you're doing it by yourself. Like, obviously, don't take your entire family. Kind of just follow what I did. Like, I dropped off my family in America. Now that we're parked, now we'll take a look at the log. So you can see that the log shows that those guys were just about dead nuts on. It says that we had no knock retard. The knock retard is 0, except on the hit. The hit got like a little bit of, like, I'd call it transitional knock that not really worried about. You can see how it decays down. If that started coming back up and spiking up further throughout the pull, we'd consider that real knock. But again, I'm keeping this thing conservative. I know you guys probably want me to press the balls off of it, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna leave it there until it goes on the dyno. I'm running a peak of 15 degrees of timing now. I was running 11 when I first started, so you always want to start conservative and then like work your way up. I'm gonna leave it at 15 degrees until I get it on the dyno, but instead of having a shift point at 6,200, I'm gonna raise that bad boy up a little bit, maybe 6,700 or so, and see how that does. Oh, looks like I have this in here at 7,100. I was revving the snot out of this, and that's also why I may have spun a bearing previously. So we're gonna bump that down, 6,700. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Now we're going back out into Mexico. We're gonna do another third gear pull. Now you don't really want to do like through the gears until you actually know, until you actually get wide open throttle right. Now I've already tuned my shift points, so I'm not going to tune them again, except for the minor changes I made to shift a little earlier. But yeah, we're gonna go back out into Mexico here and do a third gear pull and let it shift a little higher, which should be about 6,700. Okay, very important for street tuning. Make sure that you have ample clearance, which we have a whole slew of it. That's awesome, just lined up perfectly. And now we're gonna hit it, and I'm gonna slap shift over. Woo! That was fast. This is a fun car. I forgot how fun this damn thing is. And it looked pretty clean. It looked like we might take a degree out of the top. That's about it. Like, we're probably going to end up taking 1 degree timing out of the top end there. But woo, she moved. That makes me happy. That puts a smile on my face because it's been down so long. And you guys are here with me experiencing the first times that I've actually floored this thing in like a year and a half. This is cool. And the inner chiller is working good. We had some issues with getting that up and running. Basically, when we took it apart, we had some contaminants that snuck into it, but we're back up and running. It's cooling everything back down. We did some dynamic stuff, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But it's yeah, I'm pretty freaking happy with that. That's doing really good. I'm happy. I'm very happy with what we're seeing here and what I'm feeling. This thing moves out. So one of the cool things that I did in order to get that higher shift point was I separated sport mode from normal drive. So my normal drive mode, to keep it conservative, will shift at 6,000 RPM. I mean, that's more than enough to beat like 99% of the cars on the road. But when you need a little bit more, or you go into the track, you might want that extra shift point up higher. So I slap into sport mode, which is just on the shifter. And when you do that, it goes into a different shift pattern, which is pretty damn cool. And the different shift pattern has different shift pressures, and the shift points themselves are different. It's pretty cool. Like, so like what I do if I'm roll racing in a controlled race environment, what I tend to do is I start in second or third gear, whatever the speed calls for. I hold it in the manual mode, and then all I do is shift to drive. So I slap it over to drive, and then I slap it right back to sport mode, and that puts me in sport shift mode. It's nifty. Being able to divide those two basically allows a nice smooth drive. It's a Cadillac, and a little bit rougher of a drive when you're in sport mode. I mean, the shift points, I'll show you here. You'll probably see my head flop back, but it definitely makes for like an awkward moment when the wife is like, what the hell was that? She's not here to show you guys, but first. It's a little violent. So you can actually see that, you know, I'm going through the gears a lot smoother. Oh, also I changed the shift pattern. So it will hold gears longer. So like if it's upshifting from first to second from second to third at, let's say, 20 miles per hour, it'll do it at like 25 miles per hour for sport mode. So another like 20% higher, which makes it a little bit more sporty. Like you're going up a hill, you can slap it into sport mode and it downshifts, or it just holds that other gear. It's pretty cool. So now that we've parked, you can see that that little knock retard up here, right around 5,900 RPMs, pulls out a little over a degree and a half or so. I think what that means is we are going to just limit this thing to 14 degrees on pump gas, and that's fine. Don't be upset where the timing lines up, because the timing is going to go wherever the heck it wants. Whatever the car wants, that's what it's going to do. This is probably going to make some steam. This thing probably will make 800 rear wheel horsepower on the E85, which would be where it was on the Magnuson. Okay guys, thanks for watching today's video. Next thing for the wagon is to hit the dyno and see what it makes, and then see what she picks up with E85. So that should be a pretty cool video. If you have any guesses on what she's going to make, write them in the comments below. My guess is somewhere around like 720 on pump gas, and then 800 rear wheel horsepower on E85. Hope we can break it. Okay guys, adios.